Welcome to the video on how to make a dado joint out of cardboard. Now a dado joint looks just like this. So I'm going to raise it up so you can take a better look at it. So you can see if I remove this top piece that it has a dado or a groove or a notch cut right in the center of the bottom piece. Okay. Now if we were to look at our rabbit joint, which is the one that we previously made, really the only difference is that instead of the groove or the notch, right, being on the end of the wood or the cardboard right here, it is in the middle of the wood or the cardboard right there. Okay, so what that does for us is that gives us 3 points of contact, the bottom and then the 2 sides, for when we glue this together. It has 3 points that are in contact that are going to be glued together, which is going to make this extremely strong. Now typically these are used for shelves, so we would put it this way, right? We could put another piece of wood or cardboard here, and this center piece would act as our shelf. Okay, so let's get on with how we are going to make this. So first thing we need is some cardboard. So we're going to take our cardboard and we need to cut it into strips that look just like this. Strips need to be 2 inches wide, from here to here, 2 inches across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cardboard, I'm going to use my ruler, I'm going to mark it up at 2 inches. Right here I'll mark it, 2 inches. Move the ruler up, mark it again at 2 inches, and then just connect and draw a line with my ruler. And I'll take a pair of scissors and I will cut right along that line as accurately as possible. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to take my cardboard strips and I need to cut them into smaller pieces that look just like this. So you can see the size, I wrote it on here. They have to be 2 inches across, which is already done for me because I already cut this into 2-inch strips. And now they have to be 4 inches long in this direction. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just simply take my ruler, lay it on my cardboard right here. Okay, measure up 4 inches, make a mark, and cut it. And there you have it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat that process until I have 8 of these pieces. I already pre-cut some pieces, so let's just count and make sure we have all 8. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So the first 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, all we're going to do is we are just going to hot glue them, and we're going to stack them on top of one another, and we are going to glue them into a block that looks like that. Okay? So we've done that before, so I'm not going to go through how to glue that up again. You just put glue on each piece, and then you just glue, glue, glue. You have it glued into a block. Okay? So let's fast forward, pretend I glued that together. Here we have a nice one, all 4 glued together. Okay? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 2 of these, right? The second set of 4, and we're gonna glue them together. So here's how we do it. Just like we did the other ones, we're just going to put some glue on here. Press down, give it about 10 seconds. Now I have these 2 glued together. I'm going to set them aside for a second. Now I have my other 2 which are left. So I'm going to take one of them and I'm going to take my block, right, which I made already. I'm going to stand it up, and I'm going to stand it right in the center of this other piece, just like this. Make sure it's centered, make sure it's straight, and I'm going to trace on both sides of it with my pen or pencil. Make a nice line there, line on the other side, and I will end up with something that looks like this. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, on the right side, I'm going to put a big letter R, and on the left side, I'm going to put the letter L. So it looks like that. And then I'm going to cut down these 2 lines, and this piece in the middle, I do not need. I'm going to get rid of that. So we're going to cut right along the left line. We'll cut right along the right line. And the little piece that was in the middle, we'll get rid of. So now I have my left piece and my right piece. Now, I have one piece of cardboard remaining. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the little L left piece, I'm going to put it right on the left side like this. I'm going to take the R, and I'm going to put it right on the right side just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to trace those. I'm going to trace that right here, the L on the left side. I'm going to move it out of the way. Then I'm going to trace the R on the right side. Move that out of the way, and I'm going to repeat the same process. I'm going to put an R on the right and an L on the left. So kind of repeating exactly what we just did. And then we are going to discard of that piece in the middle. So I grab my scissors, I cut along the right side, discard the piece in the middle. So I'm going to take my two R's, make sure the letters are facing the same way, and I'm just going to glue them one on top of the other. And I'm going to take the L's, and I'm going to do the same thing with them, make sure the L's line up, and I'm going to glue them right on top of one another. So put a little glue on here, a little hot glue, glue one L on top of the other L, take the R's, glue the R's one on top of the other, just like that. Now I have my piece here that when I glued two together right here, I'm going to set that down. I'm going to take the R, and I'm going to glue it on the right side, make sure it's even with the edge here. And I'm going to take the L's, the two L's that I just glued together, and I am going to glue them on the left side, making sure they are even with the left side, and that will give me my dado joint in the middle, right in the middle right there. Okay, so let's start with the R first. Let's flip it over, let's throw a little glue on here. Glue it in, making sure it's nice and even with the side. Let's take the L's. Let's glue them on the left side, making sure they are even right on the left side here. Give them about 10 seconds to dry. And then I'm going to take my block that I made in the beginning, right, just the four pieces stacked up, glued together. I'm going to put a little glue now in the dado joint, but I want to put glue on all three surfaces, down the center, and then on the left edge, and then on the right edge. Okay, so that gives us a nice secure contact. So down the middle, a little bit on the left, a little bit on the right. Fit it in. Let it sit for about 10 seconds. When it's all dried up, you should have a perfectly constructed dado joint.